Respect is never something you can force people to give you. It is something you earn through the way you carry yourself every single day. Real respect comes from your actions, your confidence, and the standards you set for yourself, not from asking others to approve of you. If people often ignore your opinions or fail to value you, it is worth asking yourself what behavior you may be allowing without realizing it. Today, we are going to uncover 5 damaging habits that quietly destroy respect. The moment you begin letting go of these habits, people will naturally look at you in a different way. Respect is not about acting tough or pretending to be powerful. It is about having quiet confidence that speaks before your words do. One of the biggest mistakes people make is explaining themselves too much. Every extra explanation creates another chance for someone to question your choices. The more you try to defend every decision, the less certain you appear. Think about the people you admire. Have you ever noticed how calm and confident they seem? They do not spend their time trying to convince everyone that they made the right choice. They simply make the decision and move forward. Imagine a lion walking through the wild. It does not stop every animal to announce its strength. It simply exists with confidence, and everyone recognizes it. That same principle applies to your life. Stay with me because the next example may completely change how you handle everyday conversations. Imagine you decide to take a break from social media because you want more peace in your life. Someone asks, "Why aren't you posting anymore?" Instead of giving a long speech about stress, wasted time, research you read, or how busy you have been, simply smile and say, "I wanted to." Then move on. Notice how much stronger that sounds. There is no opening for debate. There is no invitation for someone to question your decision. But when you keep talking, people suddenly feel they have permission to challenge you. Think about another situation. You decide not to attend a family gathering because you need rest after a long week. Someone asks why. Instead of listing every reason, every problem, and every detail, simply say, "I won't be able to make it." That is enough. The more reasons you offer, the more opportunities people have to argue with each one. They might tell you that you can sleep later, that work is not an excuse, or that everyone else is coming. Suddenly, your personal decision becomes a discussion. Confident people understand something important. Not every choice requires a full explanation. Watch successful people in business, sports, or leadership. They speak clearly. They stand by their decisions. They do not waste energy trying to make everyone agree. Keep watching because this next idea explains why saying less often gives you more influence than saying everything. Think about a luxury brand. It does not spend every day trying to convince people why its products are valuable. It knows its worth and lets quality speak for itself. You should learn from that example. Suppose you start waking up early every morning because it helps you stay focused. A friend asks why you are doing it. Instead of listing books you read or videos you watched, simply answer, "Because it works for me." That simple sentence carries confidence. The less you try to prove yourself, the more people believe in you. Things with real value never apologize for existing. A diamond never says, "Sorry" for shining. A mountain never explains why it stands so high. They simply are what they are. Think back to school or work. Maybe there was a group activity you did not want to join. If you spent several minutes explaining yourself, people probably kept pushing you to change your mind. But if you simply said, "No, thank you, I'm not interested," the conversation often ended much faster. That is the difference between people who are respected and people who are constantly pressured. The more confident your answer, the fewer people feel they can change it. And what comes next is something most people never notice until it is too late. The hidden danger of over-explaining is that people slowly stop seeing you as confident. Imagine a manager who keeps giving long speeches every time a simple rule is introduced. Employees begin to wonder if the manager even believes in the rule. But a strong leader communicates clearly, keeps it simple, and moves forward. Confidence is often found in fewer words, not more. Now think about your own life. How often do you feel the need to defend your choices? Maybe with your family, your friends, your coworkers, or even strangers online. The next time you catch yourself explaining too much, stop for a second and ask yourself one question. Would someone who truly trusted their decision feel the need to say all of this? Most of the time, the answer is no. Imagine a relationship where one person always feels guilty for needing personal space. They explain every late reply, every quiet day, every moment they want to spend alone. Instead of creating understanding, it slowly reduces their confidence. Healthy relationships are built on trust, not endless explanations. here is the truth that changes everything. People naturally respect those who respect their own decisions first. When you stop asking for permission to live your life, others begin accepting your choices without resistance. Respect starts from within. The moment you believe your decisions deserve confidence, the world begins responding differently. Sometimes the strongest statement you can make is also the shortest one. If you keep defending every choice you make, you quietly send a message that says, "I need your permission before I can feel confident." That is one of the fastest ways to lose respect. The moment someone questions your boundaries, do not rush into a long explanation, simply stand by your decision. If someone asks why you choose to live a certain way, you do not need to tell your whole life story. A calm answer is enough. If someone disagrees with your path, resist the urge to convince them. Stay steady, stay calm. People respect certainty far more than endless explanations. Real confidence is quiet. It does not chase approval or argue for acceptance. It simply knows where it stands. A lion never loses sleep wondering what sheep think about it. That is the mindset you need to build. Every time you stop over-explaining, you become stronger. Every time you trust your own decisions, other people begin trusting them too. Watch carefully, because this one habit changes far more than you realize. It changes how people speak to you, how they treat you, and even how they remember you. Respect grows naturally around people who remain calm under pressure and who never feel the need to defend every step they take. Always trying to make everyone happy will slowly steal your freedom. You begin saying yes when your heart is screaming no. You stay quiet when you want to speak. You shrink yourself because you are afraid someone might be disappointed. But ask yourself something important. What about disappointing yourself? This is your life, not theirs. The moment you stop living for other people's approval, you break free from their control. Imagine you are at work. Your manager asks you to stay late, but you already made plans with your family. You know you are exhausted, yet you agree because you fear being judged as lazy. You force a smile while ignoring your own needs. That is how people-pleasing quietly steals your energy. Or think about a friend who always calls whenever they need emotional support. Even on your hardest days, you answer because you fear looking selfish. But healthy people never expect you to sacrifice your own peace for theirs. Anyone who demands that kind of sacrifice rarely values you in return. Keep watching, because this next truth explains why so many kind people end up feeling invisible despite giving everything they have. The need to be liked can become an invisible prison. You enter a room and immediately begin changing yourself depending on who is there. You laugh at jokes that are not funny. You agree with opinions you do not believe. You hide your real feelings behind polite smiles. Sometimes you even apologize for things that were never your fault. All because you want acceptance. But think about this for a moment. What is the value of winning everyone else's approval if you lose your own self-respect along the way? Truly confident people never make themselves smaller just so others can feel more comfortable. They stand in their own strength without feeling guilty for it. Stop trying to please everyone. Not because kindness is wrong, but because constantly putting yourself last will eventually leave you with nothing. Imagine your energy as a glass filled with water. Every unnecessary yes pours some of it away. Every time you ignore your own needs, the level drops even more. Eventually, the glass becomes empty. Then, who will refill it? No one can protect your peace better than you. Your time, your attention, and your energy are valuable. They should never be given away simply because someone demands them. The next idea may completely change how you see your relationships, so stay with me. History has always remembered people who stood by their values, not people who tried to satisfy everyone around them. They accepted that not everyone would agree with them, and they continued forward anyway. Now think about your own experiences. How many times have you hidden your feelings just to avoid an uncomfortable conversation? How many times have you accepted things you secretly disliked because you wanted everyone to stay happy? Did those sacrifices truly bring you peace? Imagine someone who is always available, always helping, always saying yes to every request. Everyone praises that person while they are giving. But the day they finally need support themselves, they discover how few people remain beside them. That is because many people were attached to what they received, not to who that person truly was. If you want lasting respect, stop fearing disappointment. Some people may call you selfish simply because you finally started respecting your own limits. Let them think what they want. Those who genuinely value you will stay. Those who disappear were never truly standing beside you in the first place. The moment you stop allowing others to take advantage of your kindness, they may say you have changed. The truth is much simpler. You finally started respecting yourself. Living only for other people's approval always leads to emptiness. It becomes an endless cycle. You keep giving while others keep expecting more. When there is nothing left to give, many quietly walk away without looking back. You believe you are earning love, but in reality, you are teaching people that your value depends only on what you provide. Now picture a different life. You walk into any room without worrying who approves of you. You speak honestly. You say no without carrying guilt. You remain loyal to your own values, even when others disagree. Something surprising begins to happen. Those who wanted to control or use you slowly disappear, while the people who genuinely appreciate your character remain. That is the power of self-respect. When you stop chasing approval, respect starts finding you. When you stop blending into every crowd, people begin noticing your confidence. Ask yourself this question: why should someone else decide whether you are enough? Why wait for applause before believing in yourself? The strongest confidence is built from within. It is not created by compliments or destroyed by criticism. It stays steady no matter who is watching. Many people spend their lives searching for validation without realizing it. They hand over control of their confidence to strangers, friends, co-workers, or even social media. They silently ask the world, "Please tell me I matter." But what happens when nobody answers? Does your worth disappear? Think about a young child proudly showing a drawing to someone they love. If they receive praise, they smile with confidence. If they receive no reaction, doubt quickly appears. As people grow older, the drawing changes into careers, relationships, appearances, achievements, and personal choices. Yet the habit remains exactly the same. They still wait for someone else to confirm their value. They upload photos, hoping for attention. They refresh the screen again and again, looking for more likes. They buy expensive things, hoping someone will finally be impressed. They chase compliments instead of chasing peace. But when the attention fades, they feel empty all over again. Strong people live differently. They continue moving toward their goals, whether the crowd applauds or stays silent. They understand that real confidence is not borrowed from other people. It is built through daily self-respect. Imagine someone who spends years trying to impress everyone around them with bigger achievements, nicer clothes, and more expensive possessions. They may look successful on the outside, but inside, they remain exhausted because the race for approval never truly ends. The moment you stop needing others to confirm your worth, you discover a freedom that no compliment can ever give you. Imagine spending your entire life trying to impress everyone around you. You work harder than necessary, buy things you do not truly need, and constantly chase the next achievement because you hope someone will finally say you are enough. But that feeling never lasts. The attention fades. Someone younger, wealthier, or more successful appears, and suddenly the spotlight moves away from you. In that moment, you feel empty, not because you lost your value, but because your confidence was never built inside you. It depended on other people's admiration. That is why seeking approval is such a dangerous habit. Now picture a woman with a dream that fills her heart with excitement. She wants to begin something bold, something that could completely change her future. But every time she shares her idea, someone responds with doubt. Are you sure? What if it doesn't work? Maybe you should play it safe. Little by little, those voices become louder than her own. She starts questioning herself, not because she lacks talent, but because she allowed other people's fear to become her own. Then one day she realizes something powerful. Those people are not living her life. They are not carrying her responsibilities or building her future. So why should they control her decisions? Think about that for a moment. This next idea might completely change the way you see your own life. You must stop waiting for permission before becoming the person you were meant to be. That does not mean ignoring good advice. It means refusing to let someone else's fear become the limit for your future. Look at a tree growing in an open field. It never asks the wind whether it deserves to grow taller. It never waits for applause before reaching higher. It simply grows every single day because growth is its nature. Your life should work the same way. There is an old story about a warrior who entered a difficult battle while everyone around him predicted failure. People laughed at him. They doubted his strength. They were convinced he would lose. He listened without letting their opinions become his truth. He stepped forward anyway. In the end, he succeeded because his confidence came from within, not from the crowd surrounding him. That is how real strength is built. Ask yourself honestly, how many opportunities have you missed because you waited for someone else to approve? How many dreams have stayed locked inside your mind because another person's opinion frightened you? How many moments of happiness have slipped away because you worried about being judged? Stay with me, because what comes next is the turning point that separates confident people from everyone else. The world will always have something to say. Some people will encourage you, others will criticize every step you take. Some will believe in your abilities, others will laugh before you even begin. None of those voices decide your future unless you give them permission. Your goal should be to become so secure in yourself that compliments never make you arrogant and criticism never makes you quit. Think about a lion walking through the wilderness. It never stops to see whether the other animals approve of its roar. It roars because that is simply what it does. It never asks for permission to be powerful. That same confidence should guide your own life. Follow the path that fills your heart with purpose, not the one that simply earns applause. Stop waiting for people to notice your worth before you notice it yourself. Stop standing still until someone gives you a green light. Move because you know your direction. Move because your future depends on your actions, not on their opinions. The moment you stop chasing validation, something surprising happens. People begin respecting your confidence because they can see that your self-worth no longer depends on them. Now ask yourself another important question. How much disrespect are you willing to accept before you finally decide enough is enough? Disrespect is not always obvious. Sometimes it hides inside careless jokes that leave you feeling uncomfortable. Sometimes it appears when people interrupt you, ignore your ideas, or pretend your voice does not matter. Many people smile through those moments because they want to avoid conflict. But every time you ignore that behavior, you quietly teach others that it is acceptable. You show them there are no consequences, so naturally they continue doing it. Eventually you look back and wonder where your confidence disappeared. The truth is, nobody stole it. You slowly gave pieces of it away every time you accepted treatment that never matched your value. Think about your workplace. How often has someone spoken over you before you finished explaining an idea? How many times has another person received praise for work you helped create? You may tell yourself it is not worth mentioning, but inside, you know it hurts. Imagine responding differently. Imagine calmly saying, "I wasn't finished speaking." Notice how that simple sentence immediately changes the energy in the room. Respect often begins with one calm, confident moment. The same lesson applies to friendships and relationships. Maybe you are always the first person to call, the first to offer support, and the first to show up when someone needs help. Yet they only remember you when they need something from you. You keep making excuses because it feels easier than facing the truth. But real respect is not based on convenience. It is shown through consistent actions. Think about love as well. How many people accept mixed signals, broken promises, or endless excuses because they fear being alone? They convince themselves that maybe this is just how love works. But real love never asks you to constantly question your worth. It is shown through effort, honesty, and reliable actions. If someone repeatedly shows you that you are not important to them, believe what their actions are telling you instead of holding on to empty words. Nature gives us a simple reminder. A lion never behaves like a frightened kitten just to make others feel comfortable. Yet many people hide their confidence, lower their standards, and make themselves smaller simply to fit in. Ask yourself why. Why should you reduce your value for people who would never raise theirs for you? Respect always begins with the standards you choose to keep. Set clear boundaries. Protect them without guilt. Speak when your heart tells you to speak. Stop pretending to agree when every part of you knows the answer is no. Stop shrinking yourself so everyone else can feel bigger. The moment you respect yourself without apology, the world slowly begins to follow your example.